destroy stuff in order to build it. But no matter what's going on and no matter how things look, you've got to remember that I am still God. And that's exactly what somebody in this house needs to understand. No matter what's going on in your life, he's still God and he's still able. I dare you, just high five yourself and just say he's still able. No, bless yourself. Say, self, he's still able. You say, yes, he is. No matter how bleak things look, no matter how broken things are, no matter how low you go, he's still God and he's still able. And I want somebody in this place to understand that no matter how bad things look and become, the God that made the heavens and the earth, the God that marked the dimensions of the seas, the God who placed the sun, the moon, and the stars into orbit, the God who had the power to make a world, still has the power to make things happen that don't seem like they ought to happen. It may not seem like your problem can be fixed, but God can fix it. It may not seem like you'll get through this, but this too shall pass. It may not seem like your life can be put back together, but God can do it. It may not seem like the door to your deliverance can open, but guess what? God can do it. And it can because he's still God. Jude was saying like this, now unto him who is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before his glorious presence without fault and without grudge. I need somebody in this house just to start thanking God right now, because despite what's going on, he's still No, y'all playing games with me today. I need about 55 folk who have seen God when it looked like nothing could be fixed, to fix the stuff that the devil had jacked up in your life. Watch this. What the devil sends for evil, you missed it. The devil think you could lose your mind. Say, neighbor, no, I won't either. No. Say, neighbor, say, I ain't losing my mind. No. I need about 55 folk who almost felt like your mind had left you. But just when you got to that breaking point, God said, no, you won't either. I'll come and speak to you in the midst. Let me help somebody. Let me help somebody. Watch this. Job says, when God speaks, he speaks because he's reminding you that no matter what, he's still God. Then the text says, God speaks to Job, and he reminds Job that, Job, sometimes, this is where it gets crazy. He says, Job, sometimes you have to look for me beyond the break. I'm going to show you where I'm going. Poke your neighbor, say beyond the break. You've got to believe, this is crazy. You've got to believe that God is still in charge and on the scene, even though there's been a break in evidence. Let me show you, Dwight. Watch this. Sometimes the evidence is hidden. I want to suggest to somebody that if you don't see God in your present situation, you may need to look beyond the break for the trail of God, even when the trail seemingly has been interrupted by unexpected turbulence. You've got to pick up the trail again, even when it has had some breaks in it by the storms of life. You'll get it in a second. Job had a season when he could not find a trace or a trail back to God. Y'all real slow today. Come here. Things had gotten so rough in his life, so confusing in his life, so much had gone wrong in his life, that the good days he had previously known with God were now buried deep behind and beneath the pain of life. You ever hurt so much you couldn't find God nowhere? Job could not trace God because tragedy had assumed and taken over the place, taken hostage his evidence where the trail used to lay. I know I used to be able to find God there. But since pain came, all I see now is pain. Many of you have had moments just like these when the trail that used to lead you to God could not be easily found because recently you've had more turbulence and tragedy than you've had triumph. And sometimes it's hard to trace God when tragedy lays where triumph used to be. Oh, I need some folk on. So what God teaches us in his response to Job is that sometimes you've got to go back, dig out, and find the trail of God, even though today the trail is buried beneath the devil's tricks, traps, and the tragedies of life. Sometimes the trail of God will not be as easy to pick up on as it once was when things were good, when life was simple, when you could pay your bills, when you had a job, when problems could be solved. But I've come to tell somebody that the trail may not be fresh, but it's still there. I need about 15 folk who are about to lose it right now because it may not be fresh. You may have to sniff out the trail because he's still God, he's still sovereign, and he's still able. My friends, sometimes the trail of God can lose its scent and become difficult to pick up on because of the turbulence, the time delay of your breakthrough, and after some heavy rain has fallen in your life. Anybody ever had heavy rain fall in your life? The rain in your life can diminish the scent of God. The rain can weaken the aroma of God. The rain in your life can break the trail of God. But despite the rain, I've come with some good news. There is still no God like Jehovah. Can I get a witness at 9:30 on a Sunday morning? There is still no God. I said there is still no God. I said there is still no God like Jehovah. He's still the only God who can change what's not supposed to change. He's still the only God who can take nothing and make something